Stop killing games. There's an initiative going on right now to the end of the month. It's called Stop Killing Games, and they are so close to getting all the signatures over there in the EU. And if you're in the UK, you're also close over there. So if you're in either of those regions, please check out the link below in the top pinned comment and in the description. Read through it yourself, make your decisions, sign it. That's all you got to do. And we can get a discussion of how we can get these publishers to stop killing games. Now, also down in the description, I have pinned Accursed Farms, his channel, who started this whole thing. And I agree with what he has to say. But also, I want to say that we need to have a discussion with, lawmakers and publishers about what needs to be done to preserve games or whatever when games are sunsetted, and the end of life of them, and how we can keep them alive, even when they don't want to support the games anymore. It's kind of what's going on there, whether it be single player or multiplayer. And a lot of games are doing that behind the scenes and unofficially. Lots of people have talked about this. Some ordinary gamers, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, Josh Strife Hayes, Asmongold. We got Philip DeFranco, drawing a blank, Moist Critical. We're talking big names here. Big audiences, and they've all started to speak up about the Don't Stop Games initiative and getting these signatures signed. Being an American, or even if you're in Canada, you can't sign these petitions to get the discussion rolling. And I feel like this was a little bit of a mistake on Ross's part of Accursed Farms. Was you need to get the fundraiser so that you can pay your rent and get things organized and hire people to help you do all these things. And I know Louis Rossman just said that. There's another person. Louis Rossman had just put out a video today at the time of recording also stating that fact. If there was one thing that Canadians and Americans could all help with the initiative, was through a fundraiser for you. I don't know if you're watching this, but I'm a big fan of games. I've been gaming for over 30 years, so I love them. It's my pastime, as I'm sure it is with all of you. And this is a gaming channel after all. One of the things that I said I was going to do with my channel here when I first started was, I said I want to preserve these games in a specific way for me, because I didn't think that we would get to a point where maybe we can turn things around. But the specific way that I'm preserving these games for me is I'm preserving my first time playing through games so that I can watch them again and reminisce about the times that I first played the game. And that's why these channels like mine, these blind playthrough channels, they're popular with viewers like you, is because you're trying to scratch that itch and you wish that you could play a game for the first time again, but that's just not possible. So you watch other people play through for the first time and you can sort of get that nostalgic feeling again. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm more or less preserving my reactions, my gameplay, for me to watch in the future, to be able to see that again. to experience that again. And the same thing goes for games that you played anyway, and you just want to play it again. Like it's been 20 years and you played a game, and you played a game 20 years ago and you go back to it like now, let's say, right? It's like you kind of get that flood of nostalgia, and it makes you feel good that you're playing that game again. So for future games, which is what this initiative is going to deal with, that's where this is coming in. None of this is going to be retroactive by any means, because a lot of games have died. Concord is dead. Sorry to hear it. But I never played it, nor was I interested. But at the same time, this is for future games. So again, not retroactively. We're trying to push this over the edge, the initiative over the edge, so that we can start the discussions. But like Lewis Rossman said, Ross, this is step one. You got a whole long way to go. We all believe in you, and we want you to succeed. So start a fundraiser. Start getting things together so that you can not be evicted from your home, so you can pay your rent, so that you can get all this together. Because you've done all this work, you've gotten paid for none of it, and you just need to be able to live. Because yes, you want to play the games, we want to play the games. Your initiative is going to let us all play our games again. So, sorry about the hard truth there, but I'm sure you've already heard it today. But the one thing I wanted to say before I get into my car rant video that I'm going to be doing right after this, the car rant is part of this video, because I have to work too, and I had thoughts about this last week when you put out that video about how Stop Killing Games is ending. So I was just, while delivering food to customers, I put up my camera on my dashboard and just started ranting about that, and that's just going to be next. But I wanted to get the clear-cut stuff now. The one thing I wanted to say was that as an American, right, I can't sign it. I've already said that. However, I would be willing to donate to a fundraiser to this cause, because it means a lot to me, as I'm sure it means a lot to everyone else here watching. That's why we're all here. We love video games. But I will say this. I have never donated to a cause before, but I'm willing to start today with this cause, because this is something I really want to change, to have change happen. So if you skip the rest of this, that's totally fine. I got everything out of the way. Again, link in the description below for both Ross's channel, Cursed Farms, and the Stop Killing Games Initiative website. It's all on you now, my little followers that I do have. All my little humans. Check those out if you are so inclined, if you live in the EU or in the UK. Also, if you are an American or Canadian or anywhere else in the world, you can check that out and read up on it on your own time. If you're more confused as what's going on, it's a huge movement. Everything that's happened within the last week has been exponentially growing over time, and I think that we're just getting started. So I'm sure many people will be willing to donate to a fundraiser that is helping with this initiative and getting talks with lawmakers and developers, getting developers to actually talk to us when we've given them so much money. Think about the next time that you're going to spend $80 on a game. Why not that one time donate that $80 to a fundraiser for Ross and his initiative. I'd probably do that. I mean, $80 for me, working with minimum wage is a little tough, but I'd still make it work. I mean, I'd make something work. How about that? It would be the first time that I donated to anything. Anything. So again, Ross, if you're watching, take that to heart, right? Some people really want you to succeed, and this is the way Americans and Canadians and other people that aren't in this discussion can help. We don't want you homeless. Anyway, here's me ranting. Let's pull it. Oh, yeah. All right. Talking about Stop Killing Games initiative. I know I have a small audience, and I know some of you are in Europe. And I don't know if you have signed the petition yet. You need to do that. Asmongold, Charlie, Josh Strife Hayes, Lewis Rossman, pulling all these guys out, agree for the most part that this needs to get done so that we can start having a conversation with the regulation of what happens to consumers like you guys when we're talking about the games that we buy. And sorry, I have construction and I'm at work. But what's going on here is that getting this signed gets the talk going. And the EU is definitely the best option that we have to start making consumer protections for video games. And I don't know how many of you have had a game taken away from you. Even those people who bought Concord physically effectively bought a brick, a $40 brick to put on their shelf. Why are we going so slow? I know that PlayStation has given out, and they don't do this very often, but they have given out refunds for Concord. I didn't personally buy it, but they don't do this that often. In fact, I can only think of 3 different instances where this has happened. Why is this guy going so slow? But 3 instances, they did it for Cyberpunk when it launched. They did it for, well, they kind of like made that mandatory that they did that for Concord. And then they actually just recently did that with Mind's Eye, game that came out. Now, I thought, I mean, they didn't do that with like No Man's Sky when that first released. But it also didn't come out in a buggy mess. It just came out and it wasn't as advertised. So I wasn't given an option to have that game refunded. And then I thought with Cyberpunk, because I was given the option there, that I wouldn't do that because maybe they would have a redemption arc like Hello Games did with No Man's Sky. And I think I was correct in thinking that, because supposedly, and we'll get back to that game soon here on the channel, but supposedly right after I did my Rage Quit episode and DLC dropped for Phantom Liberty, that's when they actually fixed the game. And so it's actually probably really fun now, but we'll see when I get back into it, because we know the problems I was having with that. So I was right to assume that. But other games, like a Concord, like a Mind's Eye, possibly won't do that. Like, not everybody has the redemption arc that you would hope that they would do. They just put out the game and call it good. So, trying not to let the camera fall again. I do need to get something that connects to, well, I wouldn't say my windshield, but at least like some part of my car that's stationary, and not have it in front of my odometer. But that being said, driving, and we're talking about the Crew, first The Crew, which was a Ubisoft game that was not necessarily advertised as an always online single player experience or multiplayer experience. So when they shut down the servers, the game has been bricked. Now, I'd be upset at that. I would. Now, I get a bit upset when I'm talking about my PS3 library, how I can't even record it for you guys because of that built-in high definition copyright protection, or HDCP. It's built into the system. When I'm recording from my PlayStation, I have to turn that off, but you can't do that with the PS3. I never updated it so you could do that. So is it like a hardware thing, or what's going on? But they haven't taken away my games from that. Like, my games are still available. My library is still available. And though it's really hard to go through the library to actually like download something, because it just puts them all together instead of here's the games, here's the DLC, here's whatever. You know, it's just all there. So it's just like 800 items that I have to scroll all the way down to the bottom to. Or if I remember what I have, I can search for it. There's plenty of stuff that I'd like to capture from there. But we're talking about stop killing games, right? Now, EA could have pulled the plug on Mass Effect 3's multiplayer a long time ago. Now it has been active for 13 years, and they don't even allow you to use your own currency anymore to buy loot boxes. Which is fair, I never did that anyway. I just played the fuck out of that game. I love it. But they never shut down the servers for it. So people are still playing it. The reason why they took down the payment options is because that was connected with Origin, who they are no longer associated with. So they can't receive that. they were also the first. That was also the first game that had loot boxes in EA's games. First game to have done that was Mass Effect 3. And I even know that my brother did spend a lot of money in the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and I didn't spend a dime. So there's that. The fact that those are still, the servers are still live, that's what I'm talking about. Well, what happens when they decide to sunset the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer? Once again, I thought they were already going to do. Doesn't really make any sense as to why they didn't do that. Because they have the Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer now, which is inferior. But like, technically, they actually haven't sunset Anthem yet either, or the Dragon Age multiplayers. I just think that for whatever reason, EA is keeping them live. I think that the ones that they do shut down are for like FIFA / football club, FC and Madden. I think that they shut the previous years off and then they put the new year on. So technically their servers aren't really bombarded with a bunch of games that they need the servers for. But also technically they need servers to check in for games like Dead Space, which I went over TOS on there. I have a video here on the channel for that. So yeah, if you follow me and you're from the EU, and you like video games, and you like being able to go back to play old video games that you have nostalgia for, then I'm going to have to link you Ross's videos on Stop Killing Games and put the website right down here in the description for you so that you can check it out, sign it, because they need to get to 1 million views by the end of July. Check it out. I wish I could sign it, but the only thing that I can do is to inform you guys about it, because I don't know if you know about it. You probably do, because I'm definitely not as big as the other creators I had mentioned here. Like, and look at me, I'm delivering food right now while talking to my camera. Again, I said I might do videos like this because I figured I'm in my car and I'm doing this pretty much all day long. Might as well pull out the camera and do rant videos, because I do talk about things, talk to myself a lot, I should say, while I'm doing this. But yeah, we're just, again, if I could sign it, I would, but being in the US, we don't have that option. I guess also in the UK you can too. They have links to the one for the UK Parliament as well on their website. This costs no money, it just costs a bit of your time. And if you love video games like I do, and you want to preserve future games from having this problem, because they're not going to retroactively go back and change the old games to be this way, because that would be a huge undertaking. So it's just preserving it for the future. And I know I'm not looking into the camera lens. I have to pay attention. I'm on the road. This is a dangerous job. but I can still talk and do my job at the same time. I already do it, I just wasn't recording it. We as consumers have a duty to protect or to get government involvement, government regulation to protect us. Because as you will see, and I'll have this video in the end card and probably also linked in the description of when I talked about when I went over the Dead Space Remakes TOS. Because the weird part about that one was, and I cut it out of the first episode of Dead Space. I did read it then, but I also, they like updated it. So they were showing me the TOS again. This time with a different colored background and all that. And this time they also said that you have to agree to it to play it, but I kept declining and I was still able to play that game, but it just kind of made me upset. It's like, why would you, like, and I say it in the video, but they updated it, and this was after EA announced that they were disappointed in the Dead Space Remake sales. So, like, is this intentional? Like, what are you doing? Are you going to be shutting this game down? Like, it's a single player only game. So I don't quite get it. Why they would have to even do that. Now I also have a TOS reading in like my most popular video, the Hogwarts Legacy's first episode that I did, my blind playthrough. That'll also be in the end card, so you can check that out. It's at the very beginning, so you might as well check that out, where I say you just don't own your games. But terms of service and end user license agreements are not the law. I want to be clear on that. They're not above the law, nor is that a written law. But we can get written laws for them to stop putting in statements like, we can take this away at any time without even informing you, which is extremely hostile to the consumer. It's like, we're the ones who are paying our money. Yes, the company paid money in order to make the game. But again, like, if you're talking about a single player game, it's a different story. So, this guy's right. Just a second. I don't know about you, but when I purchase something, and it says purchase or buy, that to me seems like I'm getting something, like whether it be digital or physical copy, that I get to keep. And I would like to keep them. I don't want to have to be forced into arbitration because you decided that it's okay to delete it from my library. No, I don't own the crew. But I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, that they did PlayStation, if you have PlayStation Plus, they did give us the crew, the original crew. Yeah, because they give you games every month. I believe that was one of them, and it is gone from my library. No, I didn't spend any money on the game itself, but I have had my service for a very long time. So none of those games that I got for free from PlayStation should have been deleted from my library. But I mean, it's deleted because you can't play it. So it's just trash there. I was like, I even have the Hitman Go in my library, even though for whatever reason it says it cannot be played on the PS5. And that's just like, well, why? Why is that not possible? It's not like it was a VR game. So, but this encompasses all games. So I want to say Pirate Software, he has some points, but he's wrong on a lot of them, and he doesn't get what the initiative is about. And he misinformed his audience. He's doubled down on it, and he refuses to apologize about that. And I don't know what to say. I mean, yes, I get it. He's speaking from the developer's standpoint, from that perspective, because he's the developer. I would like more developers to talk about this. Like, if Mark Dara could talk about it, that'd be awesome. I want to hear his perspective on the Stop Killing Games initiative. Is it Mark Kane? I forgot his name, but the guy who created Fallout. I would like to hear his perspective, because I know that these guys have YouTube channels, so they're well within their right to talk about the Stop Killing Games initiative. They're well within their right to give us their perspectives, right? But when you're reading the document that they're going to be presenting to the EU, to EU governments about why this needs to happen, then you need to read the whole document and understand that it's not about turning multiplayer games into single player games at end of life. And it's not about single player always online video games and their DRM. It's about consumer protection. You, me, we all buy these games. We spent our hard-earned money. Some of us have good jobs. Some of us have crap jobs where we earn minimum wage, tips. And we just want to be respected in that aspect of, I bought a product, I didn't buy a service. One thing if it's on Xbox Game Pass and then it's taken out of Xbox Game Pass. I pay for the service of Xbox Game Pass. I did not pay for the game. It's another thing if I paid for the game. And I understand that might sound like a little bit of an oxymoron when I was talking about the PlayStation Plus service, how the Crew is in there as a service to me. But their service claims that if you remain a PlayStation Plus subscriber, that these games will be available to you for the entire time. So the Crew does not fall under what they were saying. So that doesn't exactly apply there. Every other game has, just not that one. At least, I mean, I haven't gone through my PS3 library in a long time, so I could check it. The only way that I can record that is if I point the camera at the screen for you guys to see, but I don't know if that's possible. I could point the phone at it, I guess. It's not going to be a great experience. Yeah, if you're going to be making an argument, at least know what the fuck you're talking about. And I've read the entire thing. And also be respectful. Because, you know,
Like, don't be going out there saying you can eat my entire ass. This whole thing is garbage and shit. It's total shit. Eat my ass. Blah, blah. That doesn't help the argument. That's being petty. Childish, if you will. It's like, but if it needs some type of different wording and all that, then you need to have a discussion about what's being presented there and not eat my entire ass. It's kind of the point I'm trying to make. Now, it's been fun to do this because it's totally different from what I was already doing. And now I can do two jobs at the same time. Driving, talking about games, doing stuff for my community and the channel. And as we continue, that's it. I'm mad now. Nobody knows how to fucking drive. Gotta pay attention sometimes. But we as gamers, we need to speak up. We can't let them walk all over us. We speak up about, like, you know, what happened with Dragon Age the Veilguard. And it's not like any of us were lying about it, that we didn't like it. And there's even a story out that Jason Schreier did, where he ate his words about the state of Dragon Age and what happened behind the scenes in BioWare, right? It's okay to voice your opinions. It's okay to expect better from these developers. And it's okay to be mad about the product that you were excited for being not what you expected. That is okay. What is not okay is the death threats and the shitty language that you use against them. So just be a person that's above that when speaking with developers about why their game is shit. Don't just be like, I fucking hate you, this game's shit, I fucking hate you, fuck you. Explain why you were disappointed and all that. Yes, again, this is a ranting video where we're talking about all kinds of different subjects. Mostly stop killing games. It's like, do I want Dragon Age the Veilguard to be killed? No. I want them to learn from that experience. So that game needs to stay out there. And don't worry, I am going to be doing a review on that. I'm not done with the game yet. Fuck you. Anyway, if you like this content and want me to do more of it, why don't you headbutt that like button, leave comments down below about what we discussed today, subscribe so you don't miss a video. Check out the other playlists here on the channel, full playthroughs, blind playthroughs of video games. So, I'll pay attention as I drive. Going this way. If you like this style, let me know. If you want me to take it from behind the wheel and put it somewhere else, I guess I'll just have to invest in a clips thing that I can put over to the side here so you can see me fully, as opposed to seeing my steering wheel. It's been fun to do this, but I gotta get back to work, so see you Starside humans. Take excellent care of yourself. See you next time.